Okay, good evening. One more time, please get your last bit of refreshments and take your seats. I've been told we will start in 1 minute. In 1 minute. Thank you.
Intricate scenes beyond your mind. And she was a concept, I was in love then. Alone that I know is sweet tonight. I'm trying to paint your face in my brain so I can get sleep and calm my mind. But she was a concept, I was in love then. You are the one that spoke of us. I never believed I'd make it out. You weren't around for quite a while. Well, you said I'll kill the whales. You are the one that spoke about. I never believed I'd make it out. You weren't around for quite a while. You said I'll kill the whales. Say. If I gave you my devotion, like I should have when you were mine, would you take it? Would you hold it? Or would you say I didn't make it on time? If I gave you my devotion, would you lay here with me tonight? I could show you all the reasons why you should be waking up by my side. Why you should be waking up by my side. My devotion. My devotion. Well, you knew my reputation, but you loved me anyway. Now you have your reservations, but I want you to stay. If you need time, I'll be patient. I can give you your space. When you're ready, I'll be waiting. Till you're calling my name. Till you're calling my name. My devotion. My devotion. All my life, all my loving, all my life, I devoted to you. Say all my life, say all my loving, say all my life, I devoted to you. Say all my life, say all my loving, say all my life, I devoted to you. If I gave you my devotion, like I should have when you were mine, would you take it? Would you hold it? Or would you say I didn't make it on time? My devotion. My devotion.
We danced in the forest like flickering candles, and our fingers across the trees. Fires in the silence.
I think one of the things that makes top 10 scholars so fascinating is what they do actually after they leave Boise State.
They all, no matter what they do, they all go on to do amazing things.
These students continue to inspire me. Every student brings something new to the table every single time. Each one of their experiences drives me in various ways that they don't realize.
I think our students are very hardworking and they're engaged in different ways, whether it's with the material, but also the community work, a variety of things. They really are showing up and trying so hard to have an impact in different ways.
Students are the reason I'm in academia. It's one of the joys of being able to work in academia, is I get to not only help them learn exciting new principles, but they also teach me and influence my ways of thinking.
They made me a better teacher. There is something, bronco blood or something like this, making them more motivated than other students.
There's so much more than just excelling academically and being a leader. It's also who you are as a person. This cohort of students, I can really see them going out and making positive changes in the world.
Anyone in this institution, whether or not they'll tell you honest, we all have a little bit of change the world in us. That's why we do this, right? And I know I can't do it myself. My ability to impact the things that I care about in this world is through these students.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Top 10 Scholars. My name is Andrew Finstuen, and I'm the Dean of the Honors College and Associate Vice President for Strategic Planning, and I also happen to chair the Top 10 Scholars Selection Committee. On behalf of the entire Alumni Association, I would like to welcome you to this 42nd annual Top 10 Scholars. There's some applause. You can applaud for that. And we know that we have some guests joining us online through our live stream, so thank you for joining and tuning in. Yes, this started 42 years ago at Boise State. The Top 10 Scholars is just one of many ways that we honor our students. And I was curious about the 42 years and the notion of Top 10, and I went ahead and figured out that David Letterman's Top 10, which will mean nothing to the students, but might mean something to those of us who are a little more advanced in our years, started later than the Top 10 Scholars tradition. So I don't know what we can do with copyright or trademark or something like that, but Top 10 at Boise State began before David Letterman's Top 10 on the late night show. Here's what it takes to be a Top 10 scholar. Apart from being just wonderful, driven students, they have to have a 3.8 cumulative GPA. They have to have shown promise in execution and research or creative activity. They've won honors and awards from scholarships to distinctions in leadership or on the athletic field. They've done notable academic experiences such as study overseas or internships or research assistantships. And they've also participated in the campus community and the community at large, from student government to varsity athletics to community service. These students must demonstrate excellence across those categories. And really, it's representative of the excellence of the university, all the way through. Faculty, staff, students coming together to demonstrate the trajectory of Boise State and the education that it offers. So then what happens is, these students are sent an email saying, you're eligible to apply for this award. Literally hundreds of emails go out. Students apply through their college, whether that's College of Business, College of Arts and Science, College of Engineering, and they're vetted at that level. College committees make selections of their top students that then are nominated to the university-wide community that myself and colleagues adjudicate. It's quite a process and demonstrates, as I said, the excellence of these 10 Boise State students. And then we ask them to think about who it was that influenced them at the university. And you saw some of those figures on the video. Who is the faculty member or staff person that influenced them, inspired them, supported them at Boise State? And that's what we get to do. We get to hear from both the student and the honored staff or faculty member. It's a delight. Now, you're going to see me come back up and read one of them. I am not an honored mentor, but the honored mentor had to be out of the country, and so I have the pleasure of reading on behalf of Tyler McFarland. You'll see that in a moment. I just don't want you to be confused as to why I'm coming back up. We're also excited. There's many former top 10 students here or former honored faculty here or honored staff. So if you're somehow connected to top 10 as a winner, as an honored faculty member or staff member, would you please stand up and be recognized? Come on. To this year's honorees, you join a wonderful legacy. And as you find the success that will no doubt find you as you go from here, please remember to stay in touch and engage with Boise State University. As members of the class of 2024, you'll soon be one of the many bold Broncos of the last decade. So wherever you find yourself over these next 10 years and beyond, please be sure to stay connected with us because we want to be connected to you, and your Boise State Alumni Association stands at the ready to make sure that that connection is sustained and remains seamless to your alma mater. So once again, congratulations, top 10 scholars. Before we start and get into the program, I'd like to introduce our Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, Dr. Jeremiah Shin. Dr. Shin came to Boise State a number of years ago, served in a variety of capacities, and then went off to LSU to be their Vice President for Student Affairs there, and did wonderfully at LSU, but then had the tug to come back to Boise State, and I know I speak for everyone at this institution, that we're sincerely grateful that Dr. Jeremiah Shin came back to Boise State University to shepherd our Vice Presidency for Enrollment and Student Affairs. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Shin to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Finstuen, and friends, let me add my welcome and sincere appreciation to each of you for being here today to celebrate the academic excellence, the service, the resilience embodied by our top 10 scholars. Before we meet these amazing students, I would like to thank the Boise State University Alumni Association for hosting this incredible event. Celebrating our alumni is what they do, and I'm so thankful that even as they're working diligently to serve our nearly 180,000 alumni and friends, they also recognize the significance of celebrating these future Boise State University alumni and amplifying what it means to be a Boise State Bronco. 180,000. That's a mind-boggling number when you think about it. These are 180,000 people representing our university and organizations, communities across this nation and around the globe. True story, just in the past week alone, I've received text messages from 2 Boise State alumni just checking in. The first was a student who came from Meridian to Boise State. He was one of the most active and involved students on campus during his time at Boise State, and his Boise State University experience propelled him to a Fulbright scholarship in Tajikistan and to graduate studies at the University of Iceland. The other alumni came to us from the Bay Area. He was an active student leader, he was an orientation leader, and very active in helping high school students transition to Boise State University. His first job after graduation was in our new student programs office. Now, he's a member of the Army Special Forces, serving our country as a Green Beret, something that he has told me would not have been possible were it not for his Boise State University experience. He attributes the fact that he's a Green Beret today to the fact that he was an orientation leader at Boise State University and said there's no way it would have happened for him had that not happened. These are just two of the alumni that I've heard from in the past week, and they are among thousands upon thousands of Broncos leaving their legacies and marks on the world, just as these 10 and their peers earning their degrees, the thousands of peers earning their degrees, will do when they leave Boise State. The students we honor today are some of the strongest, most talented, transformational students this university has ever seen, without a doubt. Though they are preparing for a future beyond our campus, their impact will be felt here for years to come. Make no mistake, Boise State University is better because each of these 10 chose to spend their college years here. We're better because of them. Their success wasn't accidental, it wasn't happenstance. They were guided and mentored by some of the absolute best faculty that you're going to find anywhere in the country. Great students, a world-class faculty, and committed staff are a magical combination, and we have it here at Boise State. That's why Unbridled, the campaign for Boise State, prioritizes scholarships for students and support of endowed faculty as two of the three pillars of the campaign. Unbridled will transform Boise State University, creating more life-changing experiences for tens of thousands of future Broncos who will go on to leave their mark on the world, just as these 10 will and just as the ones who came before them have. To our top 10 scholars around the room, we will forever be fans of yours, cheering you on as you strive for excellence in your lives and in your careers. We cannot wait to see who you become and what you achieve. We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. Everyone, let's show our appreciation to these students, their honored faculty members, and their families and friends with a big round of applause. On behalf of everyone in the Boise State University family, we are thrilled, honored, in fact, to honor you today. Wherever you go and whatever you do, know that your alma mater will be here celebrating your accomplishments every step of the way. To begin tonight's recognition of excellence, I would like to invite Dr. Erin Mannon to introduce our first top 10 scholar, Phoebe Kane.
I've loved getting to grow my confidence in my own abilities. I think I've just never knew what I was capable of. It has been very challenging, but I think I've grown more in the last couple years than I've ever have before.
Seeing these students who are just fabulous people has made me take a step back and reflect on what success really is. And of course it's achieving and it's being the best that you can be, but it's also just being a whole human who can engage in the world and make a positive impact, even sometimes just with a smile. Hi. I'm here to tell you that Phoebe Kane isn't perfect. She's brilliant, hardworking, driven, kind, and friendly, but there's one thing she really isn't good at: remembering her lunchbox. That's how I got to know Phoebe. She was in my statics course, which is the first real engineering course, and like clockwork, once a week, a few minutes after class when the students had cleared out, here would come Phoebe, running back in to retrieve her left-behind lunchbox, always with a smile on her face. Her lunchbox also made several visits to my office as I picked it up after leaving class, knowing Phoebe would stop by later on when her stomach started rumbling. I loved having Phoebe in class. She's engaged, thoughtful, a peer helper, and fulfilled the ever-needed question-asker role that students in every engineering class appreciate. But it was those moments after class in my office when I first recognized how extraordinary Phoebe really is. She's genuinely interested in being the best she can be at engineering and in life. I had the honor of working with Phoebe for several semesters as she engaged in research with my team at the Baby Lab. Phoebe and I even traveled to San Diego together to conduct medical device testing with our clinical collaborators as we worked towards improved treatment methods for kids with scoliosis. She presented this research at a conference in Seattle and, of course, came home with the first place award. Phoebe does whatever she puts her mind to, and it's an honor to get to celebrate her today. Like all the top 10 scholars, Phoebe has an impressive resume. She's had multiple engineering internships, served as the president of Tau Beta Pi, which is the Engineering Honors Society, volunteered in several organizations throughout campus and the community, and has welcomed and overcome challenges as a first-generation American. One quality that I especially appreciate, which didn't make her resume, is that Phoebe is a fellow Swiftie, and is possibly my only student who appreciates my beginning of class music choices. Phoebe, speaking for everyone, your family, friends, and professors, we're incredibly proud of all that you've achieved at Boise State, but beyond the accolades, it's who you are as a human that truly shines. You radiate confidence and joy and serve as a role model for not only your peers, but for little girls like my own daughter, dreaming of a future in STEM. You've shown that you can conquer the world of engineering while staying true to your warm and inclusive spirit, all while rocking an infectious smile through a rigorous curriculum. And while you've excelled in essentially every way at Boise State, you still aren't perfect, and that's okay. So to prevent you from forgetting that lunchbox, I've got you covered with some blue and orange carabiners to keep your lunchbox firmly attached to your bag on all of your future adventures. Congrats on this well-deserved award, and I look forward to celebrating your successes as an engineer and a Bronco alum as you dive headfirst, fearless, into life after Boise State. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce to you top 10 scholar Phoebe Kane.
Hello, thank you all for being here. To begin, I would like to thank the Alumni Association for orchestrating this entire event. It is an honor to be recognized with this award and to represent Boise State University. In August of 2020, I moved into Morrison Hall alongside other engineering students as part of a living learning program to begin my time as a Boise State undergraduate. Coming fresh off of a virtual high school graduation ceremony and parking lot diploma pickup, I was especially thankful for the opportunity to be on campus and quickly became involved. Despite this gratitude and early triumphs, I was a highly anxious freshman that felt extremely intimidated by the degree path lying ahead. Confidence in my abilities was low, and I contemplated options that would return me to my then beloved comfort zone. However, after encouragement from my parents, who had just begun celebrating their newfound status as empty nesters, I came back sophomore year, a decision that has proven to be immensely transformative. It didn't take long for my attitude to shift, because that fall I took a course called Statics with my honored faculty member, Dr. Erin Mannon. After using my tests as keys all semester long, she extended an invitation to join her Biomechanics of Infants lab, which I promptly accepted. Under her guidance, I began blossoming in an innovative project environment that unveiled possibilities I hadn't known existed within the engineering realm. I continued taking Dr. Mannon's courses and even began a job grading and peer educating, starting with her dynamics class. Beyond the classroom and research principles, Dr. Mannon has taught me that everyone belongs in engineering, success doesn't have to compromise your health, authenticity speaks volumes, and a mutual love for Taylor Swift can really bring two women together. It has been truly inspiring to observe such dedication to student learning and professional development. A desire to lead has remained consistent throughout my undergraduate journey. In the last year, I've had the privilege of being Boise State's chapter president of Tau Beta Pi, an engineering honor society, and student advisory board member for the Mechanical and Biomedical Engineering Department. Opportunities and leadership such as these have served as a reminder to use my voice for the betterment of others, and that good character stands above any accolade. Thank you to Dr. Don Plumley for for your wisdom in advising Tau Beta Pi, and to Dr. Todd Otanikar and Justin Larson for valuing student opinions. I would like to thank everyone in the College of Engineering and MBE department for the abundance of ways that mentorship has been demonstrated. The collaborative effort required for a department to succeed does not go unnoticed, especially with my relentless emailing and questions each and every semester. I would like to thank MBE faculty members like Dr. Krishna Bakala and Dr. Sophia Theodosiou, who help foster an environment that allows students like me to feel supported within the College of Engineering. To my friends, thank you for making every season of college worthwhile. Whether it's endlessly studying in the engineering buildings, losing every intramural volleyball match, or responding to my stream of Google Calendar game night invitations, I am endlessly grateful to have been surrounded by such wonderful individuals. To my family, both present tonight and absent, your unconditional love means more than I could ever express. Growing up in a household that regularly exemplified service to others instilled me with an open mind and work ethic that has endured. Taking risks is considerably less daunting when you have a family that celebrates all of life's highs and lows alongside you. To David and Cheryl, I appreciate you both being here in Boise and for so kindly welcoming me into your family the last 2 years. Jacob, you bring considerable joy into my life that I will never take for granted. Thank you for loving me and making life that much sweeter. Congratulations to all the fellow Top 10 scholars. I'm thrilled to see where your diverse range of talents and remarkable intelligence will lead. Having this chapter come to an end is incredibly bittersweet. There was no way of predicting just how special college would be 4 years ago. I'm looking forward to beginning my career as a mechanical engineer in Washington State working on hydropower, but will equally miss this campus and city that I have grown to deeply love. With all of my future endeavors, I plan to remain passionate about representing Boise State University. Thank you.
The economics faculty have definitely pushed me further in my academic career. Without the econ faculty and their support, I definitely would not be where I'm at today. Don't be afraid to take any opportunity that's given to you. If there's an opportunity, take it, apply to it. If there's this extra paper that a professor's working on and there's room that you might be able to help them, take the opportunity to do it.
He's involved in the community. He was a volunteer in the Special Olympics. He was the president of the Economics Association. So he's pretty much like everywhere. And I don't know how he can handle all those commitments because I couldn't. So I'm really proud of him because of that.
Just 1 second. Is this me? So, good evening, everybody. I'm Rafael Ribas from the Department of Economics at Boise State, and I'm here to introduce my student, Reese Cooper. So let me start saying that Reese is truly exceptional and perhaps the most talented student that I have met in the last 10 years. Sorry, I may get emotional. But I think what sets him apart is not his intelligence. I tend to say this to my students, look, everybody's intelligent, everybody's smart. It's his diligence, it's his work ethic, the attention to detail in his organization. That makes the difference. Okay? And his work shows that for him, good enough is not enough, which is something that's rare among students nowadays. So I met him when he took a very intense 2-week math camp I offered to grad students. And while the grad students struggled to keep up with the pace of that course, Reese was consistently surpassed expectations, always offering clear, meticulous solutions to very long and difficult problem sets that I gave to students every day. And I have to say, I wasn't the type of student he is. okay? But his dedication earned my respect. And of course, after that, I invited him to work on a project with me, and he surprisingly exceeded my expectations. And then at that point, I started trusting him more and more tasks that I don't even ask grad students to do. But more important was during that time that I learned about his impactful work on our community. While working with me, he was also the local program coordinator for the Idaho Special Olympics and the president of the Economics Association. And then at some point, as you saw in the video, how can he handle all those things? I couldn't, right? I was overwhelmed with my own work and even with his work and learning about his work. So to conclude, Reese embodies excellence, dedication, and commitment to making a difference. And I wish, as I wish for all the other top 10 scholars, that they continue to be this way. And here comes my advice to you. Eventually, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be in an environment where everybody's as smart as you, okay? And this will be super exciting, all right? But at that moment, what I believe is your dedication to excellence that will make the difference. It's an honor to introduce such an extraordinary person, Reese Cooper.
Hello. So I'd like to start by saying congratulations to all my fellow top 10 scholars. What an accomplishment we have done here tonight, and we should all be very proud of this amazing achievement. I'd also like to thank Sydney Montgomery for all of her support and organization through this process. It would not be, I don't know where she is at, but thank you very much for all your organization. It was very clear from day one of every step of the way, so we really appreciate all your hard work and dedication. Roughly 3 years ago, I made my decision to enroll at Boise State. It was actually on my birthday, my 18th birthday, so it was very exciting, but yeah. So little did I know when I made that decision that, the impact that would have on my life today. So when I was about 6 years old, my family and I made our first road trip from a small town in central Illinois to Boise, a grueling 24-hour car ride, but and so we came to visit my aunt and uncle, and after this trip, it kickstarted a 12-year tradition of spending our family vacation in Boise. I grew up floating the Boise River, riding in the foothills, helping do chores at my aunt and uncle's house, and over the years, Boise became a home away from home. So making the decision to move 1,600 miles across the country to come to Boise State did not feel like moving away from home. As I look back on my time here at Boise State, I'm flooded with memories and lessons. Some of my favorite memories have been going to football games, rushing the court after the basketball game won a big upset, or riding the bull at Roddy's after on my 21st birthday. And much, much more. The memories I've made here will last a lifetime, but more importantly, I have learned so much. The most important thing I have learned is to take every opportunity you can to grow. Whether it's attending a free lecture, taking a weekend workshop class, that sometimes you regret because it's very grueling for 2 days, but volunteering or getting involved in clubs, each opportunity offers a unique and new experience and perspective. The reason I'm standing on this stage tonight is because of all of those opportunities that Boise State has provided. I'd like to thank Dr. Rebus for helping shape my academic career. Thank you for letting me assist in your research, but more importantly, thank you for all of your advice and guidance that you have provided me this last year. I'm extremely grateful that you pushed me to apply for this award. Without you, I would have never believed I could do this, and it was not something that I even thought I was going to apply to. So thank you very much for pushing me to do that. And I look forward to continuing next year as your research assistant and continuing to learn from you every day. And I hope that one day I can have the depth of knowledge you do and love for economics. To the rest of the economics department, thank you very much for all of your support. Every single professor that I've worked with in the department has provided new opportunities and areas to learn, and I really appreciate all of that. Especially thank you to Dr. Emery Balikci for helping me lead the Economics Association over the past 2 years and providing me the opportunity to work as a teaching assistant with him. To my friends and family, thank you all for being there when I needed to vent or chat while driving home. My family knows that if I'm calling, it's likely that I'm in the car driving. I have this weird thing where I can't be behind the wheel without being on the phone chatting with someone. Thank you to my Aunt Katie and Uncle Kevin for always being there to encourage me and support me. Thank you for all the free dinners, the leftovers, the free car to drive, and all the weekend trips to Burns. Aunt Katie, thank you very much for pushing me to be involved with Special Olympics. Being able to support so many amazing athletes in Boise has been an amazing experience. Getting closer with my cousin through that and other Special Olympics, I know Ian's in the back there, has been an amazing opportunity to grow and just be a part of the community. Finally, I would like to thank my mom and dad for being my #1 supporters who have always pushed me to bigger and better things. Thank you. As I look ahead, I feel very fortunate that I have another year here at Boise State to finish my master's in econ. I know many of my fellow scholars are off to new adventures and new places, so I wish all of you the best of luck in your future goals. Go Broncos.
I only have 10 emails in my inbox at a time. One of them is from my mom. It's quotes from the Pope. The world seeks to offer you comfort, but you were not made for comfort, you were made for greatness. All of my choices have been to try to embrace the discomfort. I think the only way to grow is to have more on your plate than you can handle. If you're comfortable with where you're at and what you have to do, you don't grow.
Every student brings something new to the table. Grant is a good example. He is very, or should I say, meticulous and methodical in his approach. He actually mentors undergraduate students. Even when he was an undergrad student, he was actually helping other students. And I'm beyond impressed with his ability.
Hello everyone. I am Bhaskar Chituri, Professor and Chair of the Civil Engineering Department here at Boise State. It is my immense pleasure and honor to introduce Grant Gordson, one of this year's recipients of the Distinguished Top 10 Scholars Award. Although originally from the Pacific Northwest, he comes from Vancouver, Washington. His academic and professional pursuits flourished here at Boise State, where he has deeply and embedded himself within our community. Grant's journey in civil engineering began much earlier than his academic career, inspired by his father, who is right here, and his grandfathers, both of who are civil engineers. So this early exposure nurtured his curiosity towards construction and mechanics of materials, which are basically the foundations for civil engineering, which guided his path ever since. Grant completed his Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering with magna cum laude honors in just 3.5 years, which tells you, and he probably will say this too, he likes to do things very quickly. And he has been doing that, I think, since his childhood, is what his mom told me. He always wants to do things quickly. And his master's degree is also going to be done in probably in a year or a little over a few months, more than a year. And his outstanding academic achievements are matched by groundbreaking research in our Sustainable and Resilient Geotechnical Engineering Lab. Here, Grant has been instrumental in advancing the microbial-induced calcite precipitation applications ranging from military defense all the way to highway construction. In addition to his academic and research pursuits, Grant has demonstrated remarkable leadership in American Society of Civil Engineering Students chapter here at Boise State. Whether it was spearheading the design of 21-foot steel bridge, or a concrete canoe, or a concrete bowling ball, his contributions have led to significant accolades in regional competitions. And concrete bowling ball is the first time Boise State competed where he led the effort and we won first prize there. So, quite proud. Grant is also an avid educator, mentor, having served as learning assistant for calculus and engineering statistics, and as a technical assistant in the civil engineering materials this semester, where he supported numerous students in mastering complex concepts. Beyond the realms of academia and engineering, Grant is an enthusiastic participant in outdoor activities, as you saw his backflip just now, an accomplished climber, skier, and mountaineer. He embraces challenges and that test his limits and fosters a spirit of adventure. So, ladies and gentlemen, Grant Goodson represents the epitome of scholarship, leadership, and community engagement. His impact extends beyond the classroom into the real world, where he applies his knowledge and skills to solve pressing challenges. Please join me in congratulating Grant on this well-deserved recognition.
Hello everyone, I'm Grant. I graduated last fall with a civil engineering degree. And in case you're unaware, us engineers are not known for our public speaking skills. I'm wildly uncomfortable to be staying up here and talking to you today. But if there's one thing I learned during my time at Boise State, it's to embrace the discomfort, because that's what the best memories are made of. So, I will now share with you my favorite memories from my time here at Boise State and the people that made them possible. Freshman year, I was fortunate enough to live in the spotless and spacious Chafee Hall right over there. I shared my 155.45 square feet with Major League goofer Benjamin Wolf. Wave to the folks, Ben. It was here that I also met Ryan Bernard, former ASBSU vice president. Together, we managed to break one pineapple-shaped daiquiri mug, one collarbone, one window, and 2 doors. Unfortunately, I was unable to include anything that the 3 of us did together on our top 10 scholar application. But nevertheless, thank you guys for the unproductive but totally necessary reckless fun. During my sophomore year, I met my go-to civil engineering study partners over there, Cedar Miller and Lucas Arseneth. It was at this time that Cedar invited me to go work out with him. Due to the fact that his arms are larger in circumference than my head is, I said no. But Cedar continued to ask week after week until eventually I said yes, I would go before we graduated. I then forgot about this until 2 days before my graduation when I got a text from Cedar that said, "See you at 0600 at Axiom on Park Center." This story is very telling of the character of both Lucas and Cedar. Thank you both for your extreme dedication, hard work, persistence, and for always pushing me to be a better engineer, student, and weightlifter. To my advisor and honored faculty member, Dr. Trattori, thank you for stopping me in the hall one day after a structures exam to ask if I had a decent GPA. I had no idea why you cared, but I did know that I was frightened to talk to faculty at the time and that my GPA would not be as good when I got that structures exam back. That brief conversation led to multiple years of research and advising, and I'm happy to report that I'm no longer scared of you. So, thank you for believing in me. To my sister, Maddie, thank you for always caring about my physical, mental, and emotional health, even when I didn't. Thank you for buying me 2 cartons of eggs a couple years ago when eggs got really expensive, and I refused to pay that much for them. Thank you for all the home-cooked meals and for being the model for the family that I hope to have myself one day. My other sister, Caitlin, cannot be with us today since she lives in Argentina. Nevertheless, thank you for making your full-time job praying for me. She's a nun, by the way. To my dad, thank you for being my role model, the man I look up to both physically and metaphorically. Thank you for being a pusher when we play tennis and for always catching less fish than me. To my mom, thank you for always helping me to learn a little something from the worst times and get a little stronger from the hurt times. Thank you for answering the phone no matter the time of night. Whether it was a breakup, overwhelming amounts of stress, or my tire blowing out at 12:30 in the morning in Utah, I know you'll always pick up. In fact, aside from my own phone number and 911, hers is the only one I know, so you kind of have to. Thank you, Brittany Arts, my supervisor during my 5 semesters as a learning assistant, for teaching me how to teach, for informing me that the U.S. National Snowshoe Championship race exists, and for competing in it with me. Thank you, Sebastian Griffin, for fulfilling my month-long dream of riding a bull. Thank you, Joey, for being my go-to ski partner, my almond supplier, and for making me an uncle. Thank you, Stuart, for being my best friend, my mountain climbing partner, my marathon running buddy, and my cliff jumping companion. Thanks for never backing down from a challenge with me, even when you knew that we lacked the technical knowledge, skills, and gear to do it safely. And lastly, thank you, God, for giving me strength when I'm standing and faith when I fall. Thank you.
One of the big influences for me to going to Boise State was actually the Blue Thunder Marching Band. It taught me confidence, it taught me managing, making mistakes, especially very public mistakes. And so as like a senior, I was kind of fearless because I had already conquered those fears as a young student.
All it takes is one person oftentimes to say, I see you, you're amazing, I see your passion, let's light that fire, right? And then get out of the way. And I look at Amy, it's like, I can't take credit for hardly anything. I was there the entire time, but everything she's done, it was her.
Grant, that's a hard act to follow. I'm deeply honored and thrilled to introduce Amy Johnson as a top 10 scholar at Boise State University. Amy is an incredibly curious, confident, and gregarious leader who has done more in 4 years than many do in a decade. I could tell you about her BA in Environmental Studies, her minors in both music and Native American and Indigenous Studies, and her German Intermediate Certificate, but those speak for themselves. Or I could tell you about the buffalo restoration or the sagebrush steppe research she's been a part of, or about the dozens of scholarships and awards she's earned, and literally dozens, maybe even 2 or 3 dozens, including the 2024 Andrus Scholar Award. But in my opinion, none of those illustrate just who Amy Johnson is. Those are important, and many of us are irredeemably proud of Amy's accomplishments. But her mark on our shared community is a bit more ephemeral and I think important. My first memory of Amy was a brief conversation where I learned she was roommates with another wonderful student, Kana von Cannon, who's here in the audience tonight. Since that first conversation, I've watched Amy and Kana's friendship blossom. And I personally love when I get to see students show up for each other and support each other through the challenges of a degree program. Of course, many of us and our students have developed lifelong friends on campus, and that's not surprising. But what I've come to realize is that the care I witness in Amy and Kana's relationship and friendship is just a way of being for Amy. Beyond her amazing and exemplary formal achievements, I believe it's Amy's mundane interactions with her peers that best exemplify who Amy Johnson is. I've seen her engage with peers in classes, in student clubs, in her research, and in her professional role as the geosciences admin assistant. And in all cases, and at all times, and I literally mean all times, Amy leads with a genuine and infectious kindness and compassion and a contagious joy that threads through everything she does. She lifts and champions those around her, and I suspect that this is what makes Amy such a natural and humble leader. Perhaps the best evidence of this is Amy being selected as a drum major in her sophomore year, a tremendous responsibility and an honor that is usually reserved for upperclassmen. If you recognize Amy, it's likely because you've seen her on the big screen at football games, leading the Blue Thunder Marching Band as the head drum major. I've been blessed to watch Amy's leadership develop as marching band took her on national tours and awarded her with many of the honors I spoke of a bit ago. Over the past 4 years, both in the classroom and in every other capacity I've seen, I've watched Amy develop into a thoughtful, humble, and importantly kind leader on campus. And I admire Amy precisely because she is the sort of leader our campus, our students, and more importantly, our shared society needs. Amy is kind, thoughtful, confident, inspired, motivated, and gracious in ways that we should all hope to aspire to. Being a top 10 scholar is more than just being great at what you do. It's also about leading, sharing, and helping others with kindness and respect. Amy has this in spades. I am proud and honored to introduce such a scholar, a top 10 scholar, Amy Johnson.
Hi. So, the only reason I'm graduating with a degree in environmental studies in 2 days is because of my honored faculty, Jared Talley. I know he's going to deny it, but I was an undeclared major as a freshman, and it was because of his course that I happened to stumble into. I declared environmental studies as my major. I took that course with just the need to satisfy a general requirement and a mild interest, but his passion and his provocative teaching lit a spark in me. It opened the door for a whole new way of thinking about the world. My roommate, Kana, and I, who were taking his class together my sophomore year, would leave his class every day with wide eyes, talking about our class discussions long after class had ended, often entering an existential spiral. It was then that I quickly realized that I was only scraping the surface of the vast knowledge that is out there. But that only fueled my curiosity and my thirst for learning even more. I want to thank Jared for giving me the tools to explore those curiosities and turn it into a passion that I hope will inspire people, just how you inspired me. I also owe so much of the person I've become to my time with the Blue Thunder Marching Band. I served as a drum major for 3 years and loved every second of it. From standing courtside as the men's basketball team won the Mountain West Championship in 2021, to being just feet from blue every football game as she and her rider charged down the blue, leading the football team out of the tunnel, to blasting our Bohemian Rhapsody hit during third downs to distract the opposing team, wondering how I got so lucky to be up in front of such a talented group. I'm so proud of every performance, every song, and every dance break that we put on for the Bronco community. I want to thank my mom, who taught me not only the value of hard work and discipline, but also kindness and gratitude, who came to every football game and would reliably every game post a faraway, usually blurry picture of me to Facebook with the band, usually doing something goofy, who always sends me back to school with more food than I can possibly eat when I come home for dinner, who crossed the country to follow me to different drum corps performances, giving me a taste of home when I was far away, who patiently listened when I would excitedly describe the plot of every book I was reading or every show I was watching. I love you so much, and I am so grateful for you for guiding me through college and through life. To my sister Ashley, my best friend from birth, my now roommate, my inspiration, from 2 years of German conversation labs where we would make fun of each other off camera for saying something wrong, 2 years of Blue Thunder together, where watching people realize we were sisters was the highlight of my day, or to 22 years of being referred to as Amy's sister, or even better, just Amy. You laid a path for me so that I could follow in your footsteps, and I couldn't have done any of it without you. To Kana, my freshman year roommate, my gym buddy, my first college friend who stuck with me through it all. I can't believe we're here today. To Sam, my adventure buddy, my Star Wars binging buddy, my cheerleader, my support. And to my dad, who I'm sure would be so proud of me, you're all the reason I've gotten to where I am today. Thank you.
I'm proud of the opportunity to have documented Boise State sports over the last few years. Everyone's been so supportive of what I've been trying to do, and I really appreciate that. I'm gonna continue pushing Boise State and pushing myself to become a better artist.
I think that he has done more than any other student in the last 4 years to put Boise State on the map around the world. He doesn't go around and say that. You have to talk to him for a while. You have to get out of him all that he has done, how hard he works. Most of his peers don't know this about him because he's just a humble person. Tyler, I'm extremely proud of you. I'm proud of you not because of all that you've done, but because of the character that you have. And as you move forward and you continue to win awards, remember that you are the one who worked to it, but there were a lot of people behind you who allowed that to happen.
As you can see, I'm indeed not Dr. Shelton Woods, but I'm honored to provide his introduction to Tyler McFarland. Dr. Woods writes, over the past 4 years, Tyler McFarland has done more than almost anyone else to make Boise State University more widely known. Through his excellent photography and his indefatigable work, his photos of every Boise State sports team have been displayed in papers, websites, and magazines around the world. His work captured the attention of not only sports enthusiasts, but also the larger world of photography. In 2023, he received the Doug Penzinger Photography Grant Mentorship. Every year, only 6 individuals receive this prestigious prize, and in 2023, only 2 of the 6 were from the United States. Tyler's humility about his work is such that most of his peers do not know what he does with the camera. But here's part of the story behind Tyler's remarkable accomplishments. In one of Tyler's first written assignments in our seminar, he reflected on his early teenage years and wrote, "The quest to find a calling was more competitive than any race I might win." Two things stood out in this statement. First, most 15-year-olds are much more interested in winning a race than finding a calling, but not Tyler. Mature beyond his years, Tyler knew that moth and rust eat away at ribbons and trophies, but finding a calling has a lifetime reward. Second, Tyler approached his vocational calling just as Columbus and Magellan sought the Eastern Spice Islands, as a quest. Along the way, Tyler looked within himself and watched people around him, and that life-giving combination created his map that led him to a treasure of professional fulfillment in photography. Speak with Tyler for just a short while, and he will tell you about Miss Thorpe, his high school photography teacher. She was so dedicated to her craft that she often spent the night in the classroom perfecting her skills. Tyler will tell you about the expertise and graciousness of Boise State's photographer, John Kelly, who encouraged Tyler to grow in his knowledge and skill as a photographer. Tyler will speak about his parents and a sister who always encouraged him along the way. But it was Tyler who walked through the doors of opportunity. He was the one who, for 4 years, got up early, stayed late, traveled across this continent with all of Boise State's sports teams to capture history with his camera. He is a remarkable student, photographer, creator, and for those who know him best, a dear friend. Tyler McFarland.
Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started.
Thank you, Dr. Finstuen / Dr. Woods. That was a good way to have two people say nice things about me. After completing 4 years as an undergraduate student, I can't claim a love for academic coursework. As much as I wish I could stand in front of all of you and declare my passion for calculus or announce a profound connection to the periodic table, it wouldn't be genuine to my experience. Coming to Boise State was, like many other students, a journey of self-discovery, an opportunity to find my true passion and interact with great minds on the same journey I was going to embark on. After 4 years, I can say with confidence that it would be just as disingenuous to tell you that I found my calling and a group of elite intellectuals as it would be if I told you that I discovered a profound love for business and Excel spreadsheets. What I can say is Boise State taught me to work hard, care about the people around me, and dedicate myself to whatever I choose to be involved in. Whether it was school, work, photography, friends, clubs, personal growth, learning to apply myself to my commitments far outweighed the importance of any classroom content. As a Boise native, I once thought my goal of becoming a photographer was out of reach and could only survive in a small art school somewhere on the East Coast. In my experience, the opposite was true. Boise State did not stifle my creativity, it enhanced it. My time on campus supplied me with the necessary tools to get to where I wanted to go. I just had to be persistent. I believe that Boise State demands the best of its students. If I was willing to give the effort, I could achieve the same goals I once believed to only be available in bigger cities with more talents. There are endless opportunities afforded to students at Boise State. However, they don't exist without people who propel students to seize them and a support system that tells them to keep going. Mom and Dad, thank you for always encouraging me to work hard. Though it may have often been hard to see the end goal, thank you for giving me encouragement I needed to work towards wherever photography was taking me. Your willingness to let me monopolize the family laptop to learn from YouTube videos did not go unnoticed. I love you, and I will forever be grateful for your support and belief in me. To Dr. Woods and Dr. Finstuen, and the rest of the professors I have had the pleasure to learn from over my tenure as a student, thank you for keeping your vision of the university's student experience student and education-centered. I appreciate your efforts to promote civil dialogue on campus and facilitate interactions that help bridge gaps that have traditionally divided social groups. I now look forward to meeting people who challenge my thinking. I'm grateful for you for pushing me to be the best writer, student, and community member I can be. To Dominic Sheldon, John Kelly, and the athletic department, thank you for believing in me as a freshman and giving me the opportunities to fail, learn, and improve the next day. My ideas were never ignored, and I was consistently given opportunities to build a portfolio and given access to the equipment necessary to improve. I had a voice every day I came into work, and I was excited to improve with each game, match, or meet. This combination of support and empowerment is the recipe to student success, and I see it everywhere in our sports programs. Each of you taught me valuable lessons on becoming a working professional and were effective professors on the court, on the field, or in the office. To the rest of Boise State University, thank you. Thank you for giving me an education. Thank you for giving me friends that have helped shape my view on the world. Thank you for offering the resources I needed to find success coming out of a global pandemic. Though I didn't fall in love with any of the core classes demanded of freshmen, I did get an appreciation for knowledge and a commitment to lifelong learning fueled by passionate professors and hardworking staff. As I begin my career on Monday managing the athletics photography department here at Boise State, I'm committed to giving back to the university that helped me grow my voice and define my values. I am forever grateful to the people in this room and at my table who have led by example, and because of you, I hope to do the same for future students looking to find their passion and reach their goals. Thank you, and go Broncos.
People go do the hard things. One important lesson Dr. Warner drilled into me was to just ask. Ask questions when you don't know something in the lab, ask for help when you need to, and ask for opportunities that you might not have heard about. Just ask.
I've worked with quite a few top 10 scholars. The common thread, I think, is just a desire to work really, really, really hard. They all go on to do just amazing and remarkable things, no matter what direction their career path takes. I have to start by just saying, wow. I've been up here so many times, and I'm just always so incredibly amazed by the students that we have at Boise State. Just so incredible. So today, I have the pleasure of introducing Catherine, or Kat Merrill, and my name is Don Warner, and I'm a professor of chemistry. And like so many other individuals, Kat's wonderful, fantastic. But what makes her unique is that she amazed me the very first time I met her. The very first time. You see, she asked to work in my lab. And to understand why this is important and this is significant and why it's impressive, you need to know that I'm a professor of organic chemistry. Okay, so I asked the question, how many of you have had organic chemistry? How many of you had nightmares about organic chemistry? How many of you were brought to tears because of organic chemistry? How many of you question your existence on campus because of organic chemistry? Organic chemistry is one of the most feared classes around the country, around the world. ChatGPT and Google, they put it at the top of the list. So it's gotta be true. It's a difficult, feared class. As a transfer student from the College of Western Idaho, Kat asked to conduct research in my lab before she had even stepped on the campus, before she had taken a single class. And importantly, she was doing this before she had any organic chemistry experience. That's brave. I knew that to work with others in the research group, she would need to quickly learn the basics of organic chemistry, the language, the symbolism, and the 3D representations we use to communicate with each other about our research. And I knew she would have to work hard. Kat was part of a larger project that sought to design new drugs that inhibit a protein that facilitates breast cancer metastasis. Her first role was to develop an advanced computer model for predicting drug protein binding. After that, she had to teach me how to do it and others in the lab. After the first project, I asked Kat to propose a new drug. And then I asked her to synthesize it. Designing the synthesis of an unknown organic compound requires abstract thinking and conceptual understanding, which is at the heart of why organic chemistry is challenging for so many students. When I asked Kat to work on this, she gave me this deer in the headlights look. However, several months later, she was able to show me that she had been successful. She was able to start with something simple and transform it into something much more complex. So, Kat excels at the things that ChatGPT claims to make organic chemistry hard: abstract thinking and visualization, integration of prerequisite and new knowledge, and hard work. Add in teaching difficult concepts to others and transforming something simple into something beautiful and complex, and you have a perfect Boise State Top 10 scholar. So with that, I give you Kat Merrill.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction, Dr. Warner. It is an honor and a pleasure, and a little bit terrifying to be up here today. So, before I begin, I would like to thank all of my scholarship donors and professors who have helped make my journey possible. And I'd like to thank, first and foremost, Dr. Warner, who has been an incredible mentor to me these past 3 years. Thanks to his support, not only have I done research I am very proud of, but I can even more proudly say that I got an A in organic chemistry 1 and 2 the first time. I'd also like to thank Dr. Jorsic, Catherine Bates, Nico Diaz, and everyone involved in the B2B program that has brought me here to Boise State. And a big shout out to my endlessly supportive parents and friends who have listened to me talk and cry about my research a billion times. I never anticipated going to college. In fact, I didn't expect to make it past my 18th birthday at all. For much of my adolescence, I have suffered from major depression that was so intense that even when I was having a good day, I was convinced that I would take my own life before I graduated high school. Every day was a struggle, but I just couldn't leave my family or my childhood dog behind. With their support, I've slowly recovered and graduated high school with a 2.7 GPA. When I made it out of high school alive, somehow, this posed my next dilemma. Well, what do I do now? So I had always loved biology, and my mom had recently beaten breast cancer during my senior year. So if I could choose a career, I would want to be a cancer biologist. But I had a 2.7 GPA. Having a successful career in science seemed impossible to me. But being alive at all had seemed impossible too. So I enrolled at the College of Western Idaho, the biology program. And there I found my true academic potential. Without all the extra of high school, I had the energy to focus on my classwork. I noticed, oh, I can do this. Oh, I really like this. Noticing my passion for biology and learning, Stephanie Savigny then demanded that I apply for Bridges to Baccalaureate. Bridges to Baccalaureate is a National Institutes of Health program that provides stipends for community college students to transfer to Boise State and do biomedical research. This was a perfect opportunity for me. So Boise State and B2B gave me a platform to make the most of my newfound confidence and academic success. My seemingly impossible dreams became my reality. I worked on breast cancer research. I presented my results at multiple conferences, and I won a fast pitch speech competition. You wouldn't know it, right? In high school, I wanted to combine biology, chemistry, and computer science, but I couldn't imagine what sort of role could combine all three. At Boise State, I am able to do exactly that. Not only has my chemistry research combined my love of biology and chemistry, but in my statistical modeling class, I've combined my knowledge from my research, my molecular biology of cancer class, and I've made a model that used breast cancer tumor protein data to predict the tumor's breast cancer subtype. In addition to meeting my academic needs, Boise State provided opportunities for me to address another passion important to me. One of the things that kept me alive through the darkest days was my childhood dog, Flash. And the dog that has kept me focused through my organic chemistry days is Nellie. I was obsessed with dogs as a kid, still am, and Boise State has helped me enact my passion for animals. Specifically, through the Alternative Spring Break program, I was able to travel to southern Utah and volunteer at Best Friends Animal Sanctuary. It was such a fulfilling and uplifting experience that I needed to go back. And this time, I was able to go back as a student leader. Boise State has helped me find opportunities through my passion and helped me develop as a leader. I plan to take the skills and confidence that I have learned at Boise State and go cure cancer. Why are you looking at me like that? Clearly, the impossible can happen. All it takes is some puppy cuddles, energy drinks, and hard work. Thank you.
The professors that I've had here at Boise State have been so happy to share information and have conversations. All the classes I've taken have been interesting and have challenged either something I thought before or just gave me a new challenge to learn more.
One thing I've really enjoyed is being able to learn from the students through my interactions with them. Madeline is really involved in trying to make an impact in her community in different ways. She very much wants to have an impact on her community, make it better for those coming up behind her, which I think is really great.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Kettler, an Associate Professor of Political Science. I'm incredibly excited to have the honor of introducing Madeline Patterson. I first met Madeline last year when she took my Comparative State Politics course. She later participated in New Leadership Idaho with me, a program I run here on campus. She is a joy to teach. While not everyone's cup of tea, we share a passion and curiosity about state politics and policy. This led to lively discussions in and outside of the classroom about Idaho politics, advocacy, and other topics that often push me to consider other perspectives and possibilities. Madeline would also frequently ask insightful questions that would motivate us both to go do some additional research, learn more about the topic, and deepen our understanding. Connected to her curiosity and joy of learning, Madeline has excelled academically while being incredibly involved in extracurriculars in the community. She will graduate with summa cum laude honors and has been active in the Honors College during her time at Boise State University. She is also a member of the Keith Stein Blue Thunder Marching Band, playing the alto saxophone like I did in college, a connection that we both bonded over. Not to discount her impressive academic achievements, but what I perhaps admire most about Madeline is her engagement in public service and her work to improve her communities. She illustrates all that we want to achieve in the School of Public Service. She has taken on a variety of leadership and volunteer roles, making meaningful contributions through these efforts. For example, she serves as a chief judge for Ada County elections and as a Frank Church Scholar. Madeline's advocacy and volunteer work is driven by the desire to improve the lives of others. For example, as president of the Menstrual Equity Club, she has worked to ensure period products are available to those that need them and inform others about this issue. Madeline is also involved in advocacy and shaping policy. This includes testifying at the legislature and meeting with policymakers, something very few people do. She has spent this academic year student teaching in government classes, helping teach civics and promote civil discourse. We live in a time of political divisiveness and cynicism. Madeline's optimism and willingness to work with others is both inspiring and energizing. Through her public service, she connects the material we cover in the classroom to the outside world. Her actions demonstrate how deeply Madeline cares about people and her community. She is a helper in addition to a leader, regularly taking both small and larger actions to connect with and help others. It is so important to have engaged citizens that care about their community. Madeline is already doing that. I'm so excited to see all that she achieves and the continued impact she will make after graduation. Congratulations, Madeline.
Thank you, Dr. Kettler, for the lovely introduction. Tonight is also poli-sci graduation, so it is extra meaningful that she could be here at the event tonight. I'd also like to thank the Boise State Alumni Association and add to what Reese said for Sydney Montgomery. You really did make everything super clear. I was never confused, and getting confused is super easy when there's so many steps for tonight. The gratitude I have for my time at Boise State is an easy story to tell. The biggest things I'll remember about my college experience are my time performing in marching band, the friendships I formed, how I grew my love of civics, the fascinating classes I took, and ultimately getting to be a student teacher this school year. Growing up, I felt like leaving your hometown was a crucial component to have an exciting college experience. I couldn't have been more wrong. I got to see Boise in a new light. I've had so many experiences I couldn't have dreamed of before coming here to Boise State. I made incredible friendships in marching band and my political science program, as well as education. I have 3 here tonight, Charlie, Harley, and Katie. Has a good ring to it. And I am so thankful for the adventures we've had together and that you show me not only what it means to be a good friend, but how to show kindness every day to anyone. I'm so grateful for the amazing political science professors I've had here at Boise State. I'd like to give special thanks to Dr. Kettler as well as Dr. Hausiker, who taught classes I wouldn't want to miss and always had their door open for a conversation. More often than not, I would walk with them back to their office after class, entrenched in interesting conversation that brought government to life. I'd also like to thank Dr. Isaac Castellano, who I only had 1 Zoom class with freshman year, yet he has continuously been a supporter for looking over an application before I submit it and helping me find political science opportunities. And finally, in political science, I'd like to thank Stuart Gardner, who is my program coordinator. Political science, social science, secondary education is a mouthful, and it spans across 3 colleges. His check-ins and help were valuable as I navigated my way through this degree. On campus, something I never anticipated from my college life was being president of the Menstrual Equity Club. Destigmatizing periods and raising awareness of period poverty, which is a lack of adequate to period supplies, is something I've thought about for years and became outspokenly passionate about in college. I helped to coordinate 3 period product drives here on campus to benefit the campus food pantry, getting to gather hundreds of physical donations and around $3,000 for the pantry to purchase necessary pads, tampons, and liners for students on campus. I testified in front of the House Education Committee in support of providing free products in Idaho's public schools, and while it didn't pass, I'm very hopeful for the future in making that change. I'm thankful for anyone who has helped support that cause and who helps to make sure that periods aren't shameful. It still happens, and we can all be part of destigmatizing periods. This semester, I got a glimpse of civics past and future. I like to think a much less scary version of the Christmas ghost of the past, ghost of the future. I biffed that line. All right, I delved into the past as I worked with the Frank Church Institute to create a book of speeches and class lessons in honor of Senator Church's 100th birthday coming up this summer. I'd like to thank Monica Church not only for her mentorship on this project and belief in my future as a civics educator, but for showing me the exciting world of politics when I was a high school student in her government class. I saw the future as I worked with government and history students this year and heard their aspirations for a better world and how they'll make it happen. I'd like to thank my mentor teachers for giving me the tools to become dedicated educators like themselves. Their mentorship at Timberline High School means the world to me. As well as, I'll add that today they were doing mock legislature, and the bill that really stuck out to me, that we all see a lot of geese on campus, apparently it's a big issue. They don't want them in the postal office. The bill did pass. It'll go on to the Senate. In the College of Education, I'd like to thank Dr. Angel Larson and Dr. Serena Morales for sharing their experiences, their care for the future of education, and their feedback. The dedication they have for centering students is prevalent in all they do and has helped me to become a better educator. A final education thank you is to a guest here with us tonight, Amber Tetrick. As I've been figuring out who I am as a teacher, I think of the example you set for creating a positive space and fostering learning. The feedback you gave me improved my writing as a high schooler, but I have far more memories of always feeling welcome to your room and reminding us students that grades aren't the end all be all. Life should be lived and enjoyed. I hope to emulate this in my own classroom, fostering student learning and supporting them as people first. Last but never least, thank you to my wonderful parents. You always have supported my endeavors and didn't even flinch when I said I wanted to go into the high-paying world of education and that I'd also be studying politics. It would be impossible to count the number of lectures I've had from strangers who try to dissuade me from these two topics, and you have always been there to remember its importance, even on hard days. Thank you for all you've done for me, always being there, and reminding me that it's okay if I make mistakes. I am so grateful to have you in my life. I dreamed of being awarded as a top 10 scholar once I heard of the award, and it still feels surreal that it actually happened and that we're all here tonight and that commencement's on Saturday. I am so honored to be part of this group and admire each of your accomplishments. Thank you.
Boise State has been the most incredible 3 years of my life. It really is the people that I have met while I've been here that have been so impactful. I just know that I wouldn't have been as successful without the connections that I've made here. I know I wouldn't be the same person. And that, I think, is what I am most grateful for.
She's incredibly intellectually curious and very bright. And also always focused on societal impact.
My name is Jerry Fales, and I am a professor and the incoming chair of the Department of Computer Science. As Tori was wrapping up her high school experience in the spring of 2021, having also completed her Associate of Arts degree, she wasn't sure what was ahead. Maybe I'll take up knitting, she thought. She's very close to her family and wasn't sure if she ever wanted to move out of her home. Out of several options, she chose to attend Boise State. Here, her love and passion for others and learning have grown, expanding her mind and her horizons. During her 3 years here at Boise State University, she has excelled in completing her degree in computer science, a demanding but fulfilling major. Participated in 2 study abroad programs, one in Oxford, England, another in Hamburg, Germany. Worked as an intern at the Idaho National Laboratory, contributed to and led efforts in the Society of Women Engineers, and conducted research designing technologies with and for children. While all of these are impressive, I'll highlight the last 2 as examples of her intellectual curiosity and endeavors to impact society. SWE, the Society of Women Engineers, is the world's largest advocate and catalyst for change for women in engineering and technology. Tori knew, before she even joined Boise State, that she wanted to be anxiously engaged in this group. She didn't hesitate to assume leadership positions, most recently organizing and conducting STEM outreach for girls at elementary, middle, and high schools, and raising funds to support fellow women in engineering. I know Tori best as an integral member of the intergenerational design team that I lead here at Boise State University, where children ages 6 to 11 and adults, faculty, graduate, and undergraduate researchers such as Tori, all work together to improve and design new technologies for children. Tori is a bright star on our team, leading co-design sessions focused on cybersecurity for children. She has impacted those children and influenced various technologies our team has worked on. Tori has wonderful opportunities ahead. A summer internship at Clearwater, an international company that's headquartered upstairs from our department, and then off to Finland to start a master's degree in security and cloud computing in the Erasmus program. Maybe she'll even finish knitting those mittens she started 3 years ago. From a young woman unsure about what the future would hold, she's grown to become a skilled and confident leader and mentor. Her story is not just one of self-discovery, but one of seeking to learn, to connect with others, and to make an impact on the world around her. It is indeed a pleasure to introduce Tori Simon.
Thank you, Jerry, for that wonderful introduction. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to study STEM. My answer to the classic question, what do you want to be when you grow up, was always either a paleontologist, astronomer, or chemist. These choices reflected my 3 favorite things at the time: dinosaurs, stars, and large explosions. Although my interests have shifted slightly since then, I did indeed come to Boise State in pursuit of a STEM education, computer science to be exact. Boise State has not just been a vector for pursuing my childhood dreams, though. My 3 years at this university and the people I have loved along the way have changed me forever. In my time at Boise State, I have traveled to 8 countries, most of them on purpose. Attended conferences, learned the intricacies of nuclear cybersecurity, herniated my disc, cried way too many times in IHOP, played music, danced, studied human-computer interaction, talked late into the night with people I'll never see again, and lived a life full of joy. Tonight, I have the pleasure of thanking those who made it possible. Throughout my time at Boise State, I've been lucky to have had so many mentors, both professors and professionals alike. Lynn Catlin, at the time the faculty in residence for the engineering and innovation community, was critical in helping me get my first internship and instrumental in my success as a bright-eyed 18-year-old freshman. Dr. Woods inspired me to study abroad not once, but twice. There's hardly a professor in the computer science department who did not advise me on career, internship, or grad school issues. The 5 minutes allotted for this speech would not do them justice. Kate Hipschman, my honors college head of house, celebrated my successes and guided me through truly bitter disappointments. My mentor, Chris Spirito at the INL, has not only taught me about nuclear cybersecurity, but has encouraged and assisted in all my crazy ambitions. I am forever grateful to these people. It is truly humbling to know how many people's influence have made me the person I am now, to be a mosaic of all that have come before me. To Dr. Jerry Fales, thank you for not only giving me the chance to work with you in your lab, but also for your mentorship and guidance over these 3 years. You were always the first person I went to when I needed advice or felt unsure of myself. Speaking with you about my experiences, my trials, my future, helped me carve for myself the life I have now. Your last-minute letters of recommendation have saved me time and again, and I hope that someday I can go on to be the mentor for others that you were for me. To my parents, who have long suffered the challenges of raising me, thank you for always giving me the space to grow and accepting me for who I am, no matter how eccentric the version. Mother, I'm sorry for screaming in your ear as a toddler. And Father, I'm sorry that you're bald now. On a more serious note, I'm grateful every day for the grace my parents gave me. I knew that no matter who I turned out to be, they would always love and support me all the same. I am first, always and forever, their mischievous daughter, and everything else second. It is a true gift to have people in your life who you know will always be there to celebrate your successes and comfort you in your losses, and it is a gift I will never be able to repay. Finally, to my wonderful friends and family, thank you for continuously supporting me and forging with me memories I will keep for a lifetime. I am so lucky to have so many wonderful supporters in my life. The 6 people at my table, from my family to my friends to my mentors, your wisdom, kindness, love, and support has not gone unnoticed by me. You have seen me in my darkest hours, celebrated in my brightest, and taught me that my ambitions are more than just delusions. Thank you for showing me who it is that I want to be. From those who have known me from day one, to those whose lives I have just entered, to those who I may never see again, I cherish you with all my heart in a way that no words could ever sufficiently describe. Know that your impact on my life will never be forgotten. Although I am no longer the little girl who dreamed of dinosaurs and stars, a piece of her lives on in me as the soon-to-be graduate you see before you. As I prepare to depart for my new life as a master's student in Finland, standing on the precipice of a truly terrifying and exhilarating change, I take comfort in knowing that pieces of Boise State will come with me in the form of all the people I have loved. To Boise State, the Honors College, the Alumni Association, my fellow top 10 honorees, my mentors, my professors, advisors, friends, family, and strangers alike, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
I was in Dr. Winston's office and he pulled out this book. The thesis of the book was that the sort of motivating force for human beings is this fear of death. That has been very much the driver for me in my life. I came back to school because I didn't want to die an ignorant person. So now I'm here, but I'm also very much more aware of all the things that I don't know. So I don't know if I help myself.
They made me a better teacher. So without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. There is something, bronco blood or something like this, making them more motivated than other students. Hello everyone, and thank you very much for being here. My name is Daniel Faloja. I am a professor in the Department of Physics at Boise State University. I am a former Romanian and a current Bronco. It is with great pleasure and honor that I introduce to the audience one of our top 10 scholars, Savio Stanton. I would like to start by telling you a few things about Savio. First of all, Savio likes to have choices. He came from the College of Western Idaho in 2021 with a triple degree in STEM, chemistry, and biology, with a perfect GPA. When told to choose a major at Boise State University, he chose 3 of them: physics, chemistry, and biology. He likes choices. He had to choose between an incredible GPA of 3.98 and a perfect GPA of 4. What do you think he chose? The perfect GPA. He had to choose a discipline for his PhD studies, and he chose physics at the University of Colorado. Now, he has to choose between a graduate fellowship from the Department of Energy and the prestigious NSF graduate fellowship. This is a great problem to have, Savio, don't worry. I am sure you will choose wisely. Savio's accomplishments are remarkable and make it clear why he is here today. What about me? I'm here because, for reasons still hiding deep in the dark matter, Savio chose me as his mentor and supervisor for the McNair program. I am Savio's choice. Yes, he is a McNair and an honor student. I am well aware that I'm only one of many who saw great potential in Savio and contributed to his development. Because of all these contributors, today he is an outstanding student, a skilled educator, a promising scientist, and a great colleague and friend. All I can say, I am deeply touched and grateful that Savio gave me the opportunity to work with him, learn from him, and of course, brag about him. I am looking forward to hearing about Savio's achievements in the near future. I am confident Savio understands that his pathways to greatness began with him being a Bronco, and his experience at Boise State will forever remain a source of strength in his heart and mind. Savio, I would like to offer you my congratulations and extend them to all the outstanding students we are honoring today. Thank you, Savio, for making me part of this, and best of luck.
Thanks, Daniel, for the introduction. I'm scared to be up here, but I guess fear offers the opportunity for bravery. So when I was notified that I had been selected for the top 10 scholars for the year 2024, the question that immediately bubbled into consciousness was, did they read my cover letter? Familiarity with me brings awareness that my undergraduate experience has left me with some scathing criticisms of portions of Boise State's policies, curricula, and motivations, as well as skepticism for the value of the industry that has become of American universities. My naive expectation of academia as a pristine cathedral providing sanctuary for those who would make a life out of the pursuit of truth was met with an actuality every bit as tainted as the exterior world. There are great things here, great people, but I question what the uniting mission of universities is in the modern age. And I aim that question not at the individuals that make the whole, but at the social enterprise itself. Whatever its principal guiding purpose is, to me, it doesn't appear to be discovery. It doesn't appear to be education. The cover letter included in my application for this award did not obfuscate my position, and I expected to be consequently disqualified. Standing before you all today, my expectation in that matter was clearly also subverted. Prior to life as a top 10 scholar, I dropped out of high school at 16, dropped out of college shortly thereafter from Boise State, as a matter of fact. And so it is safe to say that my background before re-entering academia held no indication for success. Tempting as it is to point gesturally at a captive audience and pronounce myself the victor of some unspoken rivalry against a machine that wronged me, that wouldn't be an honest narrative of how I arrived here. There are two main reasons for that. First, it would be imprecise for me to claim that you, the system, has failed me. Since my reentry, I've donned many hats. I've been a student primarily, yes, but also a student government senator, a club officer, a teaching assistant, a research assistant, a mentor, mentee, peer. So I have very much been a part and benefactor of the same system that I criticize. And I too have failed in my time to effect meaningful change. Thus, it is not that you have failed me as much as it is that we have failed students like me. Second, this victory isn't mine to take pride in. This award truly speaks more to the greatness of the people that have brought me so high from a place so low. My successes have been the result of an astoundingly unlikely string of acts of mercy and grace that were afforded to me long before I had earned any, and by a list of people too long to enumerate in the allotted time. However, I would like to spend the bulk of my remaining minutes doing my best to elevate them as they have elevated me. I'll begin by thanking those most responsible for my development as a scientist. Dr. Brian Jackson was kind enough to provide a place for me to begin my journey as a researcher in his astronomy lab. Despite me not at the time having the training to be immediately useful, Dr. Brian Nord of Fermilab mentored me remotely through the first summer of COVID-19 lockdowns, which I'm sure was more difficult than he made it seem. Dr. Ken Cornell put up with me polluting his peaceful lab with my hushed voice for the duration of the Bridges to Baccalaureate program. Dr. Brian McLean suffered my pedantic approach to physical chemistry and kept good spirits, undeterred by my company. Doctors Chad Freer and Christoph Poss took me in at MIT to perform research in a branch of physics that was totally novel to me. Finally, in the group of research mentors, I'd like to thank Dr. Daniel Faloja for being my McNair mentor, as well as for serving as my honored faculty tonight. In addition, Doctors Freer, Faloja, McLean, and Cornell were letter writers for my PhD and graduate fellowship applications. And thanks to them, as Daniel mentioned, I am the recipient of the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship, as well as the Department of Energy Computational Science Graduate Fellowship, and I will be attending CU Boulder to pursue a PhD in physics this fall, where I was further nominated to be a GEM Associate Fellow. Briefly, I'd also like to thank my instructors, academic advisors, scholarship donors, and peers, both at Boise State and the College of Western Idaho, particularly Curtis King, Stephanie Seveny, Kathleen Mukungezi, Brandy Venable, and Doctors Charles Hanna, Ahab Margie, Steve Lisney, and Andrew Finstuen. Last, I'd like to thank my family and friends, especially my grandmother and Dina Ramahi, who helped catalyze my return to school. And I hope that in the end, I can rest having earned the kindness that was first extended to me in magnanimity. Thank you.
I just think that success is nothing without people to share it with. And so it's been really important to me to stay connected to my family, stay connected to my friends throughout all those things, and not let the prospect of, a 4.0 or an A in a specific class or, the top medical school get in the way of the relationships that I've built and the people that I really care about in my life.
She's a great student. She's always done really well in all of her classes, and when I talk to colleagues, she's always like the top student in any class. I could do the answer keys to the exams based on what she put down.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here this evening and to introduce our final top 10 scholar of the night, Miss Jocelyn Stevens. Jocelyn was a chemistry major and pre-medical major, and I've known her for about the past 2 years since she came to talk to me about joining my research lab. And, I wasn't sure at first that it was going to work out. She had a very busy schedule, and as we were trying to figure out when exactly she was going to actually do lab work, it became apparent that she was extraordinarily committed to many, many, many things. And that's, of course, she's probably like all of the top 10 scholars that we've had here this evening. They're all incredibly bright. They're all dedicated. I think you could say that they were all relentless in their pursuits of success here at the university. Some of the things that are important to know about Jocelyn are that she did come and eventually get some work done in my lab. And it was good work. It was, it was very thoughtfully designed experiments, very carefully performed. And, importantly, she got me good results, which is the part I really care about. And those results were really important to me because they served as the basis for numerous grant applications that actually brought me money. So all of that was great. And I would say, along with that in the lab, there were an equal measure of the things that she didn't do. She didn't cause an E. coli outbreak. That was good. She didn't electrocute anybody with the high voltage power supply. She might have been responsible for one small fire, but it was contained and it didn't make the newspapers, okay? Although she has had plenty of reason to make the newspapers for other aspects of her college career. What probably isn't as apparent from her top 10 scholar profile is that she was on the women's soccer team here and was a standout player. I have to read off a few of these things because they aren't awards that I'm that familiar with, but she is the first team Mountain West several years running. She is the Boise State MVP in soccer, where she was a defensive center. And she was the CSC, I don't know what that acronym is, Academic All-American. So she has managed to perform at an extremely high level in soccer and an extremely high level in her academic career. So you could say that she shares all of the attributes that we sort of expect from this cohort of students. She's had straight A's or near straight A's in all of her classes, and chemistry's not an easy major. She was, along the lines, a standout in physical chemistry and won the Physical Chemistry Student of the Year. I'm not sure if that goes on a dating profile, but it was quite an accomplishment. In class, as you saw in the video, she was a standout in the class that she took from me. She always sat up right up front. In fact, she dragged one of her best friends to sit up front with her, and I could get her to answer any question that I posed. Beyond that, it was such a relief late at night to be able to read an exam that was well written and neat, and served as the key for me to assign points for everybody else in the class, okay? All right, I think beyond that, I would like to say that it's been my pleasure here to see so many stellar students, a number of whom seem to have passed through my lab at one point or another. And I count Jocelyn as among the very top students that I've had work with me in the last 2 years. I have been extremely impressed by her work, and academically, I can't imagine a finer student. This is also reflected in an MCAT score that she's recently received that put her in the 99th percentile of students who take that exam. From here, she'll go on to a career in medicine at some point at which she applies, and I look forward to that day. I'm extremely proud of her, and please welcome our last top 10 scholar of the night, Jocelyn Stevens.
That's not mine, sorry. Okay, thank you, Dr. Cordell, I think, mostly. And thank you all for being here today. I know it's been a long night, so just bear with me. As a 16-year-old high school sophomore, finding a school and a soccer program where I would spend my next 4 years was equally stressful and exciting. I remember countless hours spent attending soccer camps, emailing college coaches, researching different schools, and the daunting feeling that came with trying to find the perfect place for the supposed best 4 years of my life. When I was approached about the possibility of playing here at Boise State, I was skeptical to say the least. I mean, I had never even heard of Boise State. I wasn't sure what to expect, but after a couple of visits to campus, I felt that this was the place for me. It had everything I was looking for: a true college campus, the perfect proximity to my hometown of Seattle, a city large enough to find something new every day, and of course, the opportunity to play soccer. But I had never heard of Boise State, and there was always a part of me that worried it wasn't right for me. A part of me that listened to my high school friends who said I should keep looking, find something better. But nonetheless, I am here, and I am so grateful I did not listen, because my time at Boise State has provided me with everything I could have asked for. As both a soccer player and a chemistry student, I got the opportunity to travel all around the Mountain West playing the sport I love. I learned an immense amount about not only chemistry, but also biology, research, leadership, and myself. And I have been fortunate to find incredible support and mentorship on both the academic and the athletic side. I have met incredible professors, advisors, coaches, classmates, friends, and teammates. The Boise State community really is unique. I felt that everyone I met along the way was wholly invested in my success and well-being, and I am incredibly grateful for the relationships I have built at Boise State and to have been a part of the Bronco community. I want to take a moment to thank just a few people who have played an integral role in my time here at Boise State. Starting off, thank you to the Boise State Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, all of my professors, my advisors, lab instructors, classmates, and everyone else supporting me on the 3rd floor of the science building. I am so grateful for our small chemistry department community and could not have made it through my chemistry degree without support from everyone along the way. I want to give a special thank you to my research mentor, Dr. Ken Cornell, for his support, not only in research, but also through biochemistry and my journey towards medical school. Dr. Cornell, thank you for your guidance, your words of wisdom, and for always pushing me to strive for excellence. I truly appreciate your support, and I would not be up here today without you. I also want to thank the athletic department, including my coaches, advisors, support staff, teammates, and the entire Bronco athletic community. Through all of the ups and downs, I am so proud to have represented our department and this school on and off the field. And I am so grateful that I got the opportunity to experience collegiate athletics. I especially want to thank my coach Max, who always believed in me and had my back my entire recruiting and college career. I would not be where I am or who I am without Max, and I am grateful to call you both a mentor and a friend. And to my family and friends, my brother, my parents, my grandmother, Nate and McKenna, thank you for being some of the most special people in my life. I am grateful to have such a generous, supportive, and amazing support system, and I would not be where I am without you all today. Thank you for your never-ending support, for answering the phone when I walked back to my car from class, for constantly making me laugh, for sticking by me during the tough times and celebrating with me during the best times. Finally, I want to end by sharing what I believe to be the most important lesson I gained from my time at Boise State. That life is truly what you make of it. This is true for everything I have experienced, from my college classes, to my time playing soccer, to my friendships and relationships, and even down to where I chose to attend school. Learning to throw myself into everything I was presented the opportunity to do allowed me to grow as a student, a player, a leader, and a person, and it truly shaped my experience at Boise State. I learned to pursue what I wanted, learned to be my own biggest advocate, and most importantly, I've come to understand that life is shaped by my actions, and every challenge presents a chance for growth when approached with the right attitude. I am so grateful for my time at Boise State, and I would not trade my decision as a young high schooler to become a Bronco for the world. Thank you all, and go Broncos.
Before I say a few words closing us out this evening, two quick announcements. One is we need to thank Sydney Montgomery. Where is Sydney? Sydney, where are you? Somebody's pointing over there. Oh, there she is. Just please join me. Sydney has worked on this event. Worked on this event tirelessly in the process before it. We very much appreciate your work, Sydney, and the Alumni Association overall. So scholars and faculty, before you disperse and at the conclusion of my remarks, will you please gather over at that very inconspicuous top 10 sign to get your pictures taken. We want a group photo of all of you together, so please gather over there, and then there'll be plenty of time for family and friends to take photos. If there was ever a time to say go Broncos, as Jocelyn closed us out, it is this evening. These are amazing, incredible Broncos. Grant mentioned the unproductive and totally unnecessary fun he had with his friends. I'd like to play on that sentiment and praise the totally productive and necessary work of these students and faculty who drive Boise State forward. And in Tori's words, take those pieces of Boise State to drive state, national, and global impact. What's more, we need the totally necessary humanity and humility that characterize Phoebe, Reese, Grant, Amy, Tyler, Kat, Madeline, Tori, Savio, and Jocelyn. A humanity and humility that animates their talent, perseverance, and intellect for the prospect of all of us living better together. Thank you, Top 10 Scholars. Thank you, honored faculty. And thank all of you for joining us for this wonderful evening of acknowledgement to the excellence of this university and its students. Thank you very much.